Earthlings are the only race in the galaxy that believe the way to peace is through war. Me, I just watched Fahrenheit 9/11 and I'm pretty disgusted. Good for Michael Moore for revealing so much of the story, but of course there's more. He didn't tell us that the CIA was behind the felling of the World Trade Center buildings, and he didn't tell us that it was because the Saint Germain funds were being stolen back from the Alliance. But he revealed enough to get you thinking anyway. I put a link up on my Red Pill website. I'll link it below as well in the description. I was pretty pissed at the woman who lamented the death of her son in Iraq. "Why did you take my son, God?" she was filmed as saying. God's answer would be, "So that you learn your lesson, lady. If you're going to offer him up, he might very well die in a war. Why did you deny that this was at all possible?" Denial isn't a very good tool to use when your son is signing his life away to the Bush cartel. What's more, why are you lamenting the loss of only your son, and not the sons and daughters of other people, or the people who died in Baghdad, including little children? Maybe they wanted to live too. War isn't just about your family or your kid, it's about everyone who has suffered through it. Maybe this woman will get her eyes opened a bit and see that maybe he died because the Iraqis were only trying to protect their own against him, and that he's been listening to a bunch of propaganda, pushed onto him and the rest of the country by controlling mobsters who are only into making loads of money. And they don't give a shit what they have to get you to do to get it for them. It was good to see these soldiers who were disillusioned at serving in a war with no apparent purpose for them. There was, of course, but these things are all hidden from all except the deep state. They know why they want war, and of course Moore made a point of pointing out how much Dick Cheney's corporation, Halliburton, made in Iraq repairing the country, which really means installing deep state infrastructure, economic staples such as Walmarts, McDonald's, and the ubiquitous deep state banking systems. These soldiers realized they were fighting an enemy that was no contest against the deep state military machine. Of course not. Oh yes, and if you think it's only money they want by making sure all the Illuminati henchmen sit on the boards of all the big corporations and banks, just wait until you decide not to comply with their plans going forward. You're going to find that your debit and credit cards don't work, or you can't buy food at your local deep state-owned grocery store. This is about control. It always has been. And it's control over you thereafter. If you stop thinking you have enemies, that's a good start. Don't let anyone tell you you do. Decide for yourself. I keep finding myself part of social media groups I never asked to be part of. One of these was a Christian group, and I started seeing posts from it, so there's absolutely no doubt in my mind I didn't sign up for that group. Facebook keeps adding me to groups and I keep taking myself out of them. Daily. They want my newsfeed filled out with all kinds of stuff that doesn't interest me. They just want me to spend time on there. I do. I spend about 15 minutes every day on there and repost stuff others have put up, otherwise I'm not on it. And my life is more peaceful. So I have to ask myself, instead of getting angry that I keep getting posts I didn't ask for, why don't I consider my peace of mind first and put that before all else? My recovery from chronic fatigue depends on it. It's a question of what's important to you. And I'm finding out at this late point in my life, that the things I didn't value when I was younger are almost being forced on me now. Like keeping calm. Of course that's the door to the soul, so now I have to go along with Aurea's desire for me to embody more of her in my daily life. I've changed my diet and sleeping habits, my YouTube preferences, reduced computer time and increased time in the sun, just to allow her to predominate. It's what's important to you. And you are your soul, not your embodied personality. It's when you realize that you could have been born into any body on earth that you realize that we are all one. You could have been born in any country, and born into any type of body. So that you can experience your lessons in a certain way. When you understand that you have sisters, mothers, fathers, brothers, and children anywhere out in the galaxy, you realize that we are all one family. So you don't see the point of war. You also have to understand that the beings running this earth now, the deep state, the dark ones, are the reverse of life. They are anti-life or evil if you care to spell it out. Evil being an anagram for life, pretty much. I'd put money on it in some old form of English that life was spelled with a V instead of an F, so evil would have been a perfect anagram of life. Why deliberately make yourself feel bad? Why deliberately hurt other people? When you start to ask these questions, you don't see the point behind war. Adama, it is that you are asking these questions that's important. The person who doesn't question what they believe continues to live on in aggression towards others. Your focus is on winning. The corresponding emotional state is fear because love knows it always wins. That is the state of love, always winning. There is no loss with love. Because there is nothing to lose. Me, what about losing your life? Adama, exit points are planned. And in the disembodied state one experiences their wholeness. Me, I see. Adama, someone who would continue to live their lives in absolute grief or with such bodily harm, does not choose to continue. Some will, for the lesson or to teach others. Your people value your physical lives more than they do your etheric lives, and this has to change. You all believe that this life is the most important life. No, the most important life is your total life, the one you spend as a disembodied consciousness, because then you resemble most the God you seek so much to know in the physical. Your body separates you from God. The job is to reconnect with God, even though physically embodied. You tend to believe paradoxes, such as the way to peace is through war. The way to peace is by being peaceful. It is not about taking up aggression or not being able to resolve one's difficulties. You see this now as Trump brokers peace deals in the Middle East unheard of in prior years. Because he has removed the problem makers. Those who did not want peace. Now you will see peace on the surface. Your people have to learn you are beings of peace, not beings of war. Reptilians and Draconians are beings of war, they know nothing else but their urge to dominate and exploit others. Even then, some are learning, they are more evolved. But the ones who control the surface are who I speak of. They have tricked you into believing you're like they are. You're not. You have their DNA. DNA can evolve through the continual cessation of urges to dominate and be warlike. It can be done, and it has been. You believe the paradox that in having a physical body, it makes you whole. No, in fact it separates you from the wholeness of creation and your memory of yourself. This is sad. You believe the paradox that you must seek love, when in fact you are who you seek. You are love. You put yourself down, yet seek outside of yourselves for someone to love you. Me, lol, no wonder we don't make sense. Adama, the positive in all of this is that you can easily turn your thinking around. You can stop berating yourself when you realize that you are the love you seek, and what you desire is to share yourself with others, not what you have been told at all, that you are asking others to share themselves with you. This is why extraterrestrials are of service, they know they are love. Those who are service to self do not realize this yet. Me, it all makes sense. Adama, thank you for allowing me to serve, today, Sheran. Me, thank you for sharing yourself with us today, Adama.